So yeah, I think this sound was so experimental and she did it so well. That was my point of that whole Madonna, Gaga, Britney, Christina story. Like, these women took these sounds that maybe people liked them at the time, maybe people didn't, and made it their own sound. Welcome back to motherfucking channel. Today I'm very excited to talk about this. Make sure you stay around to the end of the video because there are some things that I have to say about this album and this era, this sound that she's using. I have a lot to say. But today I am going to be going through each song on Sweetener by Ariana Grande. I listened to it for the first time a few days ago, and let's just say my mind was blown, okay? I was shaken to the core. But let's get into this. Before I do start, I do want to say, today I'm uploading a video. If you're a regular on this channel, make sure you come to that video, because this video, it has a lot to do with my channel and just everything that's going on. So make sure you come there. You're gonna be pretty shook because I'm already shook. So when I went into listening to this album, I wanted to put my biased opinions aside. Well, I mean, everybody has a little bias in them, so I guess I can say I put my biased emotion to the side and really went full force and listened to this album. And without me even knowing, I listened to it on Spotify. It was on shuffle. I was so irritated. I did not know it was on shuffle. And I mean, so I listened to the album on shuffle. So each song that I'm going to be going through, you're going to notice that it's not in order on the album. I'm going to talk about God Is a Woman, No Tears Left to Cry, and The Light Is Coming towards the middle, because that's when I heard them. I listened to the album from start to finish. It is everything. Let's just say that. But let's get into the first song that I listened to. While I was listening to it, I wrote down some notes so I didn't forget what I wanted to say. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. The first song that I heard was Rem. Well, I think it's R-E-M is how it's spelled. Or not spelled, I don't know. But this song sounded different. It sounded soulful. It kind of sounded like soulful mixed with pop. And I was just like, whoa, okay, I wasn't really expecting it. And then it had another like kind of tone to it. It sounded futuristic, but at the same time, it kind of sounded throwback. I could not put my finger on it. Like it was, I don't know. All in all, the song was beautiful. The chorus was everything. Her voice was more low-key on this song, which is fine. I love when singers are very diverse with their voice. But overall, I had a good flow. Like, the song had a good flow to it, and it was a bop. Definitely was a bop. So I'm going to give this song a 9 out of 10. I just want to say well, I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to keep going. Let's keep going. Good Night and Go. I heard this when Nikki played it on her Queen radio a few days ago. And I was like, dang it, I want to listen to this album. I want to listen to it in full. I want to take my time with it. And I just kept listening to it anyways. So this was my second time actually hearing the song. It has a hypnotizing vibe to it. Like, I don't know. The three little runs that she does on the chorus is just everything. Her voice was very angelic on this song. It was definitely one of my faves. I want these visuals for this song to be epic. Like, I want these visuals to snatch, because we all know Ariana Grande has stepped up her visual game from a 7 to a 892. Like she went above and beyond with this era. The God Is a Woman video and the No Tears Left to Cry videos are just works of art. Like, shook. She's really doing it this era. And this is one of my favorites off the album now. It's a bop. It's a bop. It's called Good Night and Go. If I didn't say that, I think I did. Every Time was the next song that came on. At first, it had so much potential. So much potential. And I was like, oh my God. Like, then I like started listening to it. I was like, oh my God, maybe not. I don't know what this sound is. It's a weird sound. And I sat back and listened to the relatable lyrics and was just like, okay, maybe this is a really good song. And I ended up really liking that song. Like, it's definitely one of my favorites on this album so far. But I do have two favorites on this album that are just, I love them. Like, I love this album a lot. And the next song that came on was called Breathin'. This song had so much hype around it because obviously people heard the album before I did, clearly. Nobody's gonna wait for me to listen to the album. So like everybody was, you know, heard the song and stuff, and I seen just so much positive notes about this song. So my expectations were very high going into this specific song, and they were exceeded, girl. I was like, what? I love the sound that she's using on this album. It's an array of sounds and mixes. It sounds like 80s. It sounds futuristic. It sounds 2000s. It sounds like 2013 kind of like music, but all mixed in one sound. This goes along with what I'm going to say at the end, and what I'm going to say at the end is probably going to shake the table, so make sure y'all stick around because it's some good knowledge. And then there were like breakdowns through the entire song. I really didn't notice that until the end of the song. I did notice that there were breakdowns, but I didn't notice how good it made the song sound. It sounded like they were perfectly placed breakdowns throughout that song. I loved the head-knocking kind of beat to it, 80s kind of beat to it, head-knocking 80s kind of beat to it. I loved that so much. This song is really good, like, too good. And then the visuals better be good for this song as well, because I know this is probably, like, the biggest non-single off the album so far, because it was, like, #1 on iTunes or whatever. The visuals for this video better be snatching, period. Then the Pete Davidson song, it was more of an interlude, and I lived for it. It was more of a cute little song. It wasn't like, I don't know, it kind of sounded like she was like, it was a bittersweet situation, like she was moving on from something. It was a bittersweet situation, and I love that song. I love the little, like, I love when it was kind of like a break for the music, and I don't know where this album is, or this song is actually placed on the album, because remember I listened to this on shuffle, but the way that it was on shuffle, it sounded so good where it was placed. So I think it's a good song. I think it's a good. I think it fits in really good with the rest of the songs, honestly. Okay, I think God is a Woman is the first or second song on this album. So I'm going to talk about that now when I talk about The Lights Coming, No Tears Left to Cry, because they all came on within the 3. So I was like, okay, first of all, No Tears Left to Cry has a lot to do, again, with what I'm going to say at the end of this video. But when I first heard that song when it came out, you can go watch the reaction to it, the reaction to the video and everything. I was like, whoa, what is this sound that she's using? And not in a bad way. Like, I love No Tears Left to Cry. I was like, whoa, this sound, it's different. It's different from what pop music sounds like now. And you see the dominating genre right now is hip hop. Yeah. Hip hop, like 90% of the songs in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100 right now are hip hop songs. Rap is dominating. So you see these other pop artists, whether they're girls or boys, aren't doing as good. They aren't doing as good as it was in 2014 2014 or 2016 or 2013, 12, 11. Like, those years of pop are over. Let's just say that. But the only person that's succeeding in this rap climate is Ariana Grande. Why is that? Because her sound is different. Again, keep this information that I'm saying in your brain for until I'm done with the rest of these songs, because I have a lot to say at the end. But then the next song that came on was God Is a Woman. God Is a Woman is, it's a powerful, powerful song. This album is very powerful. It was, God Is a Woman is a statement. It's very important for in her career. No Tears Left to Cry as well. These two songs are very important to this era, to her career, because they're just so much different. Like I said, these songs are just a mix of soul, R&B, pop music, a little bit of fresh rap music in there. Like, there's just so many like things going on that your brain can't even grasp it, and you don't have anything for it to like to cling to, because humans, when they want to know what something is, their best instinct, if they don't know it, is to compare it to something. So you really have nothing to compare this to, because this sound is so new and so fresh that, you know, it's just people, like I said, just stick around to the end and I'll get more into that. But God Is a Woman, a beautiful song, a beautiful, powerful video. It's one of her best, and like I said, she's stepping up her visuals this era. Those two videos are her best videos. I don't care what anybody has to say. Ariana has always had that a little bit of a wow factor to her. I knew that this era was coming. I knew that an era that was like gonna exploit her to the rest of the music industry, because I feel like people always thought of Ariana Grande as a child, as a Nickelodeon star, and I feel like this era is really changing that. I really do. And then the next song that played was The Light Is Coming. The Light Is Coming is such a bop. I do not see the negativity behind it. I don't know why people are so negative about that song. First of all, I love that video so much. I don't know, there's just something different about it. Something different, just because I know why people don't like it. They don't like it because it's a new sound, it's fresh, and they can't wrap their minds around it. So let's keep going. But no, The Light Is Coming is probably one of my favorite songs on this album. That's how much I like it so far. Or it's not so far. And it has Nicki in it, you know? Nicki and Ariana, when they get together, they make magic. And Nicki snapped on her verse. So I like that song. The next song was Get Well Soon. Off bat, I was like, whoa, this is gonna be one of my. This is one of the two songs that I fell in love with off of this album. And Get Well Soon is definitely the first one that hit me. I really needed this song personally. It's kind of like I see what she was trying to like talk about in this specific song, just mental health, honestly, and that I appreciate that so much. Nobody talks about mental health in the music industry. That's why I loved XXXTentacion so much. He talked about mental health. He just talked about things that people were scared to talk about. And if you're an artist that does that, I love you. I love you so much. Just because, like I said, nobody really talks about it. And I feel like this was it. She was talking about just the stress of life and how that's what it is. It's just, life is stressful and everybody goes through it, no matter if you're Ariana Grande or you're Prince Shanghai. Everybody goes through stress, everybody goes through situations in their life, but it will get better, you know? Just because you're having the worst day of your life, tomorrow it can't get any worse. Honestly, it cannot get any worse. Like, you just have to keep pushing. You have to keep pushing, because it's just life. That's just life summed up into one. stressful shit happens and you just gotta deal with it sometimes. But that's just tea. Everybody goes through shit. And that's, like I said, tea. This song basically blew my mind, honestly. Like, I instantly added it to my playlist when I heard it. And, I don't know. Her voice really set that song out to do amazing things, you know. There's certain songs that only artists that can sing can get that kind of tone, and that was one of those songs. I live for that song. It's definitely my favorite on this album so far. The next song, Better Off, it is another one of my favorites. It instantly, like, made me start thinking of my ex. It just makes you think about your ex, you know? It makes you think about how you're, like she said, better off without them. Like, it makes you think, okay, I can do this by myself. I'm cool off of him. Like, I don't need a man to make me feel any kind of way, you know? Like, it was kind of an empowering song, honestly. And like I said, I just appreciate that from her. And, like, so far into this album, like I said, it was on shuffle, though. I'm just getting such good vibes from this album. Such happy, well, like I said, this album, it's happy, sad, and bop. Like, all mixed into one. Happy, sad, soulful bop. That's all I can really say. But the layered vocals in that song were just eating my wig up. But the next song was Borderline with Missy Elliott. Like I said, I put my biased opinions aside because I don't listen to Missy Elliott's music. I don't find her music that interesting, if I can actually say that. I mean, she is very versatile in her music, so I do appreciate that, but her music does not appeal to me whatsoever. So, like I said, I put my biased opinion aside, and I really just sat back and was listening to the song, really wanting to like it. And I did. I really did. I mean, I didn't really, like, it's not one of my faves, but it was kind of like a break, you know? It was kind of like, okay, it's just a bop. It's just a bop. Like, because I kept finding myself just bopping to it. Like, just, like, writing down the notes. I was just like, okay, it's a bop. It's a bop. Like, it's a bop. It definitely is a bop. But it's not one of my favorites on this song, or on this album. Definitely. I think it's just because I really like solo Ariana Grande. Like, I love solo Ariana Grande. She really puts a lot of emotion and stuff into her solo songs. If you've ever noticed that, that's just tea. Okay, the next song that played off this album, which is my second favorite, is Successful. This song, girl, like, off bat, I was like, okay, this is my favorite. This has my wig in a tangle. So what I was getting from this song was, she's that bitch, you know, and she can do whatever she wants to, because why? Because she is successful. Hey, that is such a bop. Oh my God. I was really getting Madonna from this. A lot of Madonna vibes from this. Not even the song, just the album in itself just sounds very Madonna. That is a good thing. I do not want anybody to think that that's a bad thing. That is a good thing. She is taking notes from the greats, the legends, and is doing it properly. She is doing this pop music shit properly, girl. I love the, there was a techno breakdown in that song. And this, again, goes with a lot what I have to say at the end, and I'm almost there, so we're about to get the tea. But this, I don't know, the techno of it was just, it was everything, you know? And then her voice, I can't even explain it. Like, it sways and goes so perfectly, it flows over this crazy beat just so perfectly. And that's why it's, like I said, a head-knocking kind of like 80s kind of like swaying kind of beat. I don't know, there's just so many things that go into this sound, and I was just living for it. And then the breath at the end, like the end of the song, there's like these few breaths that she does. I don't know if they're breath. I haven't listened to this album in headphones, so I don't know. I can't wait to listen to it with headphones, but I don't know if they are breaths, but I think they are. Raindrops, this is the first song I believe on the album, Bitch. When I heard this song a few months ago, actually. I think it was either leaked, maybe not. I think Ariana actually posted this. I don't know. But it was a little video of her sitting on the stairs. You guys know what I'm talking about. I was so shook. Like, I was beyond shook. Her voice is so powerful. So powerful. She is definitely the powerhouse of this generation. Definitely. This song was giving me Whitney and Mariah vibes. Like, that's how good this bitch's voice is. Like, it is very, like, she carried that run so strongly, so broadly, for so long. That is what legendary singers can do. They know how to use their voice, and Ariana used her voice in that song so perfectly. Shook. Okay, the next song was Blazed, which featured Pharrell. Off bat, I was like, oh my god, girl. But I think this goes along with me saying I really only like solo Ariana Grande. Like, I don't like when she has other people on the song. Besides Nicki, because her and Nicki's amazing. She knows how to make a bop. But the Pharrell thing, I was just like, girl. At the end of the day, I really do think that song is a grower because I like Ariana's part on it so much. So I think I would just get immune to Pharrell's little, I don't know, I really don't like his voice, I guess. I don't know, but I think it's a bop. It's definitely a bop, and it's definitely a grower. So it's not one of my faves, but it's a bop. The next song and the last song, I believe, yeah, was the Sweetener song. Okay, the first thing I thought of was Bop It, and that instantly just gave me some, I was like, oh my god, type vibes that I was getting. Like, I don't like the Bop It sounds. And then she comes in with her voice, and I was getting, again, Mariah and Whitney vibes from this. Like, the little runs that she was doing leading up into the chorus. What? Like, blowing my mind. I was just like, oh my god. This was another just fun beat. It was fun. That's all I can explain and say, that these beats were just fun. Especially this one. And there was a moment, at the end, towards the end of the song, there was these little pop techno sounds. I don't know what they were, where they were coming from. But I thought, because, okay, I have a confession to make. When I was listening to this album, I was smoking, so I was pretty high. And I was just vibing out to the song, and then I heard these little techno things. And I was like, oh my god, my messenger for Facebook is ringing. I was like, oh my god, it's not ringing. It was just the song. That's what it sounded like. That's what it reminded me of. Again, I was high. I was just, like, listening to this song. I was just so into it. I loved this song so much. Okay, so that was me talking about every song, basically going through every song, telling you what I liked, what I didn't like about it, and there was really nothing that I didn't like about this album. This moment in Ariana Grande's career, this album, these songs, this sound is important to her career and her legacy. And let me tell you why. She took a sound that does not acquire to everybody's taste. I know she has to know that this sound doesn't agree with everybody's ears, you know? Like the techno-y, kind of poppy, kind of like vibes to it. But she did this, she took this sound and made it her bitch. If we gave this sound to Selena Gomez, we would not be this would not be, it wouldn't be this. It would not be this. Let me tell you why it's important to her career that she did that. Why she went outside the box. Why she wanted to do something different. Well, let me tell you why that's so important to her career. Look back. I don't know if you guys are very into pop music or whatever, but I am. I'm very into pop music. I'm very into music, very into pop culture. If you go back to the 80s and think of the women that... Whoa. Think of the women that were in the 80s. And the only woman that really comes to mind, honestly, is Madonna. There were other women. I'm not saying that there were not other women, but Madonna. Madonna had such a huge career in the 80s. Like, her career really jumped out the window right there, you know? And it was really one of the biggest moments in pop history because she took a sound, an 80s sound, and made it something that people ran with. They wanted that sound, you know? Going into the 90s, it was also Madonna again. Madonna, and then you had the Whitney Houstons and the Mariah Careys. Okay, they were inspired by Madonna. Everybody was inspired by Madonna. But go into, like I said, Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston's, they took this R&B kind of sound, which was already kind of poppin', R&B and pop kind of sounds, and fused it together. We got a new sound. Okay? Are you guys, I think you guys might be catching on by now what I'm trying to say. There are these strong women that take these sounds that not everybody can enjoy or not everybody can like and do amazing things with them. Let me keep going. Then you go into the 2000s and the late 90s and you have your Britney Spearses and your Christina Aguileras. They took, come on now, like everybody should know who everybody knows who Britney Spears is. But Britney took this pop sound and flipped it and made it her bitch. Like Britney opened the doors for every pop artist that's in the industry right now. I do not care what anybody has to say about that. That is tea. Britney's sound was so ahead of its time and so different. And that's why everybody clung to it, because it was just new. It was so fresh. So, okay, going in after Britney, you come into 2006s, 2007s, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then you have your Lady Gaga's. Okay, Lady Gaga took all these sounds, and Lady Gaga can sing too. So Lady Gaga took Madonna sound. She took Britney Spears sound. And this techno, trashy pop music that I hated. I don't know if this is just me, but I hated the 2007, 2008, 9, 10 movement of pop. It was so loud and just so... I didn't find it interesting. But Britney and Gaga really knew how to use that sound. And Gaga did it in 2011 to 2013. She flipped that sound and made it something crazy. And then, boom, 2013 stopped. Like 2000, well, okay, I'll say 2014, it stopped. That music just wasn't hitting people's ears how it used to. And then you come into 2014, 2015, 2016 with your a good candidate for this would be Closer. Even though that song is trash and the Chainsmokers are trash, that's what that I did not like really any pop artists from that era of 2014 to 2000, I'll say 17. They all sounded the same, like the same songs. Justin Bieber, like, girl, I'm over it. Come 2018, you have Ariana Grande release this album with this amazing sound. I can say right now, I'm about to turn this off. I can say right now, in a few months, you're going to hear a whole bunch of pop girls with this song. Or not this song, this sound. It's such a different sound, so ahead of its time. And I think people are gonna realize that sooner or later. Like, these songs are definitely growers onto some people that don't catch the vibes off bat, but I do, and I did. And I can tell that this is gonna be the next step in pop music. I really can, I can see it. I don't know if that's what everybody else is getting from this album, but I can see it. I think this sound was so experimental, and she did it so well. That was my point of that whole Madonna, Gaga, Britney, Christina story. Like, these women took these sounds that maybe people liked them at the time, maybe people didn't, and made it their own sound. This is what Ariana Grande just gave me. She gave me the 2014 to 2017 kind of vibes with closer kind of sounds, but made it to where you didn't want to stab yourself in your ears type sound. Like, she revamped pop music. That's what I think. That's what I'm getting from this. But I guess that's it. I don't know. I don't want to keep talking about this because I could be wrong. People are probably upset or whatever that I even said that, but I think it is. I think Ariana Grande is the next step in pop music, the next step in pop culture. But I guess that's it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bye.